everyone, I hope you're all doing super well and welcome to this little oil painting time lapse. I just thought I'd show you what I've been up to this week as I managed to venture out a little bit further to a flower shop that's kind of close to me. And so I wanted to show you some of the flowers that I saw because they had such beautiful colours, and I used that as sort of inspiration for my painting in this video. Some little water here, and I managed to get a little drink, and this was in the cafe, so I didn't have to wear my mask fortunately, but I was trying to get some images of some sheep behind me, and here are the sheep, moo, whatever. And so I found this really inspirational because I obviously haven't been going out that much except sort of to local places really, and I have to confess I wouldn't normally visit these sort of little areas, so I've kind of been becoming more familiar with local places near me, because if I do go out on a regular basis, you know, without lockdown and without corona, before all that, I would just go straight to London. Like, I would never see any point in kind of hanging around here really, which is a shame in a way, because there are some really wonderful hidden places. And this painting is entitled The Journey with the Lamp, and I do hope you like it. If you're interested in any of the stories behind my paintings, then please follow me on Instagram, and I will follow you if you're a creative person, because I have all of my stories behind my paintings listed on there. Now, in this video, I thought I'd talk about what I've been up to and kind of how I've been doing what I've been doing in lockdown, and also my Etsy shop, which doesn't exist yet. So basically, I spent some time talking about my Etsy shop in the video last, or maybe the video before that, I think. And it's been going quite interestingly because I haven't actually started the shop yet. I'm in the stage of really picking my pieces to go into the shop. And I do have a significant amount of work of oil paintings that I've created. But obviously over time, my portfolio has gone up and down. Some I've sold, some I've given away as gifts. So I don't have a ton of work that necessarily has a particular theme. I suppose all my art does tend to look very fantasy-esque. So that would be the overriding theme, but it's not that they're all in a particular kind of group that you could say, oh, these paintings all look really similar, that's your particular style. So it's kind of hard for me to really pick the best works out of the varying portfolio I have, because over a number of years it's really changed to a certain degree, and so I have had some tough times thinking about it. And the funniest part is there have been times where I've really thought one of my paintings was amazing, and then have gone back and looked at it again and thought that's just nowhere near as good as I thought it was. And when I say amazing, I mean amazing to my level, which is I still am super critical, and amazing would be like sort of still not, it would be like 5 out of 10 probably in terms of my standards. So I still feel like I haven't really achieved the level of which I am happy with, and I feel like a lot of artists are similar to me, but it is a very frustrating situation to be in. However, I am obviously grateful that I have worked enough to have obtained so many pieces of artwork that I actually do have. Of course, some of the art that I really spent hours and hours over, I have looked at again and thought, actually, I'm not sure that I would want to sell this in my online shop, which is surprising because when I started painting, I always thought the more time I put into my work, definitely the more brilliant it would be. But in actual fact, on reflection, it doesn't always equate to that. It's really a shame, because there are times when I've spent hours and hours and weeks, sometimes months on a particular painting, and then there's been another painting that I spent maybe 2 or 3 days on that I actually prefer. So it can be such a hard experience, and it's just an interesting, also it's an interesting situation when you get a reaction from people. Very often I show my paintings live, like sort of not online, but to, you know, friends and relatives and loved ones, and sometimes their reactions are completely different to what I expect. And sometimes people will say to me that they preferred my paintings when they were in like the really early stages and disliked the actual finished painting, which kind of makes me feel really nervous that I'm doing the right thing. So, it's all a lot of self-doubt. So anyway, it's been really interesting and enjoyable for me to look through some old work. I have actually got rid of a few pieces just because I don't have a ton of space, but most of it's still there. So I still have my very first oil painting that I worked on, and I think I might post a picture of it on Instagram because I really would like to see what people think of it and whether people think I have improved or maybe they think that I've got worse. I don't know. And I also like to see for myself, I guess, if I have improved or not. And I think the themes, regardless of the standard, the themes of my paintings haven't really varied that much. The execution has, but the actual ideas, such as, fantasy worlds and anthropomorphic art and surrealism, is all still very much present from the early days. And so I've also been thinking about life as an artist in lockdown. This can be actually a lot more frustrating in a way, because I used to get a lot of time, not a lot of time off, but I used to get a certain amount of time when I could dedicate to having actually a life, like a social life. And I feel like that has diminished so significantly because of lockdown. And it's the case with everyone. I'm not complaining because it's just the way it has to be. But it's interesting how it can affect your art in itself, because it was so easy for me to get inspiration, because I have a tendency to get a lot of inspiration from conversation. So when I'm just speaking to people and meeting them, I can just, come up with ideas. But now it's it's a more solitary experience. So I have to live with whatever's in my head, which sometimes can be a little bit disappointing, or it can be hard work. But I do hope you like this painting. I tried to throw absolutely everything into it, so it took a while, but I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. Take care, guys.